What up, everybody? One of the Raising Kanan Season 4 Episode 8 exclusive images shows Rock and Krystal in the same room staring at each other face to face. This will be the third time that Krystal and Rock have come face to face. The two previous times was Rock showing up at Kanan's apartment looking for him. But this time it definitely doesn't look like they're talking at Kanan's apartment. This looks like it's most likely Rock's house. Possibly Joyce's house, but the curtain's in the back, and because there's an ashtray on the table, this is most likely Rock's house where they're talking at. Leaving the first question, what is Krystal doing at Rock's house? My first guess would be that this has something to do with Joyce's death, and this might be some kind of wake, or something going on at Rock's house because of that. But also keep in mind that at the end of episode 7, Krystal got home from the store, and Kanan was sitting in their apartment with the lights off, looking like he was traumatized, thinking that Rock was behind putting down Famous. So when Krystal asked Kanan why he was sitting in the dark, he asked Krystal if she had his back. And when she told Kanan that she loved him, he told her that that doesn't mean nothing, because some of the worst shit that's been done to him has been done by people that say they love him. Then he went on to tell Krystal he knows who killed Famous, and told her that it was his mother. So Krystal being at Rock's house could possibly even be about her thinking that she has Kanan's back and trying to confront Rock. Maybe she's over there for Joyce's repass and she confronts Rock while they're alone together. But another detail about this picture is that Krystal's coat is laying over the chair. And if this was a repass or something where Krystal was confronting Rock in private, her coat probably wouldn't be laying on the chair like that. And we definitely know something's going to go down with Krystal and Rock this episode, because the episode 9 description says that Kanan, suspicious of Rock's involvement, investigates Krystal's disappearance. But a question in regards to Rock possibly being involved in Krystal's disappearance is, what was her motive in disappearing Krystal? Because from their two previous conversations, either though Krystal wasn't backing down to Rock, they didn't have any problems either. And because Krystal hasn't backed down to Rock, could be another clue that she went to Rock's house to confront her, thinking that she's having Kanan's back. And this could be why Rock disappears Krystal. Krystal might say something that makes Rock feel like she's either a liability or a loose end, and Rock would kill her because of that. But my initial thought before seeing the image of Krystal at Rock's house, and I still think this is a possibility, maybe Rock called Krystal over to her house for a reason similar to the reason why Monet Tejada killed Carrie Milgram in Power Book 2. The last thing Monet said to Carrie was, "If Zeke has you to turn to, he'll never come back to me." And this could also be Rock's mindset when it comes to disappearing Krystal. There's also a chance that Rock doesn't kill Krystal, but she gives her money to leave town and get away from Kanan, like we've seen Ghost try to do with both Tommy's love interests from Power, Holly and Keisha. And Jukebox might have something to do with this also, because when Jukebox went to Kanan's new apartment, and Kanan left Krystal and Jukebox together, when Krystal apologized to Jukebox about what went down during their time at Butter, she said she had a fucked up living situation, and Butter was her way out. And Jukebox replied to her saying, "Now Kanan's your way out." Keep it in mind that Krystal told Kanan she didn't want to go home because her mother's boyfriend was always trying to put his hands on her. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Kanan attacking Krystal's stepfather in one of these last episodes after Krystal's disappearance. And if Rock is involved in Krystal's disappearance, this could potentially be Kanan's third love interest that Rock has gotten rid of in some type of way. Because in season 1, I think she was most likely involved in Davina's mother's death to get Davina away from Kanan after she figured out Davina tipped Unique off about the stash house. Keeping in mind Jukebox had already figured it out herself. Then we know that Rock scared Palomar out of town at the end of season 2. And in Kanan's friendships in general, we know she was behind D-Wiz getting put down. and it's still to be determined if Rock was behind Famous getting put down or not. So if Kanan does find out that Rock was behind Krystal's disappearance, he will most likely not let her get to know anybody he's close to moving forward. Getting me to Kanan's next love interest after Krystal disappears, that's most likely gonna be Jarita, Shawn Stark's mother, coming into the picture in Season 5. Because in Power Season 1, which was in 2014, Shawn was the age of a college student, because he had been playing basketball at St. John's before he blew out his knee, then went to work for Ghost as his chauffeur. And in Season 2, which was about 2015, Shawn told Tariq that his pops got locked up when he was around Tariq's age, and Tariq was about 12, maybe 13 years old at that time. So this would have Shawn Stark being born between 1993 to 1995 sometime. And because the current timeline of raising Kanan is early 1993, I think we'll definitely see Kanan meeting Jarita in Season 5 now that Krystal will no longer be in the picture. And unlike the rest of Kanan's love interest so far, we know that Jarita ain't going nowhere, because she was still in Kanan's life 20 some years later, even calling Kanan after he killed Shawn and asking him about where Shawn was. With that said, I also have to ask the question, did Rock ever even meet Shawn? Because we do know that Jarita knew Ghost, and Ghost was taking care of Shawn while Kanan was in prison. When Kanan got out of prison, he went over to Jarita's and got a duffel bag full of money from her. And when she gave him the bag of money, he said that she had always been loyal, and even gave her a couple bands from out the bag because of that. When he got the money from her, he said that she had been holding it for him for all those years. Keeping in mind Kanan's most recent stash he had in the storage locker just got stolen by OC. So once Kanan meets Jarita, he might try to distance her from everybody he knows, and especially his family, so she don't end up like Krystal and the rest of his love interests or even his friends. And he could also start stashing his money over at her crib also. Either though from OG Power it did sound like Jukebox knew Shawn, either though she didn't have too much of a problem when she found out Kanan killed him for being disloyal. But at the same time, Kanan just got done telling Jukebox in the most recent episode that she was the only person he can trust. Something else concerning Kanan's love interest so far in raising Kanan, Davina, Palomar, and Krystal is that he got somewhat emotionally attached to all of them. But in Power, Jarita said to Kanan that the sex was one of the only parts of their relationship that worked. I think after Krystal, Kanan will no longer be connected to females he's in a relationship with emotionally like that anymore. And I definitely don't think Kanan's going to be faithful to Jarita, and that will be one of their problems. And other than Jarita, Kanan will just use the rest of the females in his life for sex. Like in Power, we've seen him dealing with strippers. He even smashed Jukebox's girlfriend Candy, but never showed any real emotions or feelings toward the females we saw him with in Power. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.